How are you?
Hey,
How are we doing?
I'm really well. How are you, buddy?
I'm superb, thank you.
Brilliant. So now we are checking here. We are refreshing. It's great to have you back on board today.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
So now, okay, and we have just started off the live. Got in, and we should be live across the country now. So good morning, everyone. Really, really good to have you back for another day of the streaming school. It's lovely, lovely, lovely to have you all here. We had 100 people on yesterday, considering we told no one. That was pretty impressive. And hopefully within a couple of weeks, we're going to have a few thousand people benefiting from a range of educators across the UK and Europe. And without further ado, I would like to again introduce you to our wonderful friend, Action Jackson, who's going to be with us every morning to give us 10 minutes of motivation, bright and early, nice and happy, to help us get our day set up for the learning. And welcome back, Jackson. How are you, buddy?
It's good to be here. Thank you very much for having us here. It's I say us because I'm bringing me, the whole world, and energy to the screen right now. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. In a moment, I'm going to be sharing my screen because I want to show you a slide or two about how to stay motivated and in the zone. My name is Action Jackson, a motivational speaker and the UK ambassador for happiness. My job is to make sure that you are happy, because when you're happy, you perform better. Many people, excuse me, many people want to perform well in life, but they don't know that there's performance and there's happiness. Happiness is the fuel for achievement. That's why I've got this happy face on, because that's my superpower. My superpower is my happiness. And I'm going to show you something real quickly, because let me tell you something. Life is amazing. Life is beautiful. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't achieve something. I remember being at school and I used to compare myself to all my peers. I used to compare myself to other people who were smarter than me, faster than me, better than me. But I forgot that, number one, they were happy with themselves, they were happy with where they were at, and they were happy with where they were going. So I'm going to show you a slide right now that's going to help you begin to really tap into your identity. So I'm just going to share my screen right now. I've got my amazing friends here, Leon and Nisha, who are helping with the technicals. Everybody just give them a digital hand clap. All right, so I'm going to go straight to my slides. And I believe Nisha is going to help me to make sure that gets shared. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen now. That's it. Just let me know if everything's okay on the other side.
Sure thing.
So I'm sharing my screen. Is everything all right?
And we're just waiting for it to come through. If you go to the bottom corner and just go present now, Jackson.
Yeah, so I've done that now. Present now. Here we go. Okay,
the whole
screen. There we go. Look at this. I'm just so thankful for technology. Technology is amazing. I love technology. Without it, where would we be? I'm going to start today also by talking about gratitude. Honestly, really, really grateful for technology that has allowed us to do this. So very quickly, watch this. It's so important for us to dream big. Here we go. So I've got this slide right now. That big apple represents your dreams. It represents your goals. What are the dreams that you want to achieve? Because the streaming school is all about giving you the tools you need in order to achieve what you need to achieve, so you can go and be whatever you want to be. Very, very important. Watch this now. I want to teach you something very, very important. Okay? Your thoughts will affect your emotions. Your thoughts are very powerful. I want you to see your mind as a powerful computer. If you put junk in, you get junk out. If you put greatness in, you get greatness out. So from now on, you want to be saying to yourself, I am amazing, I can do this. I am amazing, I can do this. Even if you don't feel like you can do it, just do say it to yourself. I am amazing, I can do this. Thoughts control emotions. Emotions control, guess what? They control your actions. Oh, I'm rubbish at maths. I'm rubbish at English. I'm rubbish at science. Then your emotion becomes resistant to the subject. When it comes time to take action on those subjects, guess what? You're going to be reluctant. You're not going to want to do it. And then guess what happens? Your action then reflects on your results. Your thoughts will always affect your results. Thoughts affect emotions, emotions affect action, and actions affect results, guys. It's so important for all of us to begin to understand that whatever we do in life, we've got to be very careful how we think, what we're thinking, when we're thinking, what we're thinking. Your thoughts are everything. You know, we just welcome Matt into the show. How you doing, Matt?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm just going to mute myself while you present, though. Okay. So
that's okay. That's okay. I'm loving that. You know. So everyone in streaming school, we've come together to share thoughts. My question to you right now is this: what kind of thoughts do you have about yourself? Because many people in life, they tend to put themselves down, and I don't think that's fair. Your thoughts will dictate your world. I am amazing. I can do this. I am amazing. I want you to say it and believe it. Many people say it, they don't believe it. I want you to say it until you believe it. Do you know what frustrates me the most? There are people with no care in the world, no skill in the world, but they've got the confidence like Superman. I'm saying to myself, why is it? It's the dumbest people. And when I say dumbest, silliest people that have got the most confidence. It's ridiculous. Whereas people who are intelligent like you, caring like you, loving like you, you're timid, you're shy. Because you're always comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing yourself to other people. You are amazing. That's why you're here on streaming school. So that we can slap you to greatness. Come on. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to slap you to greatness. I want to wake you up. Yeah? In a moment, you're going to be listening to Matt. And Matt's going to slap you into greatness, giving you the skills that you need. So here's my thing as we close. I want you to think about who you are. And all you've got to do is this: I am amazing. Now, if you feel uncomfortable saying that, guess what? That's okay. That tells you that you've got a lot more work to do to own your superpower. I say that to myself. So everybody, as you're watching right now, I want you to sit up straight. And all I want you to do is this. It's very simple. This is the password to your greatness. I am amazing. I can see you. I can see you. Please, you there in Dubai, I can see you. Let's go. I am amazing. Hey, you in New York right now. Come on. I am amazing. 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 Keep saying it. You're going to feel odd, but keep saying it until it feels comfortable. And then what you then do to back it, learn new skills. It's not just saying it, you've got to back it with skills. And that's why we've got Matt here, who's going to take us through another journey. Listen, we are like we're like superheroes, and this is like the Avengers. It's like the Avengers. We've come together with all our superpowers to make sure that you get the best from streaming school. I'm so energized. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that we're doing this right here. So very quickly, have a think about what I said today. I kicked off today talking about the fact that I compared myself to other people when I was at school. Please don't do that. We've all got our super strengths. We all develop at different paces. That's why you're watching this. You've learned from me how to be confident in yourself. I want you to have that in your heart. And I'm going to hand over to Matt in a moment. And when I hand over to Matt, I want you to sit up straight and to have that posture of, no, I'm a superhero. I'm ready to learn more superpowers. Yeah? So for the last time, I am amazing. I am amazing. I am amazing. I finish off by doing this. Watch this. This is my favorite superhero. Black Panther, Wakanda, whatever. I am amazing. So are you. Enjoy the rest of the lessons here on streaming school. My name is Action Jackson. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Action. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day, buddy.
Thank you too.
A very good morning to everyone. I hope that was a motivational piece from Action Jackson, just remembering how confident you can be, obviously remembering not to compare yourself to people, and obviously the recording of that is available on all the different channels via the website, obviously Facebook and YouTube and the rest. So please watch it whenever you need another pick-me-up to remember yourself, to remind yourself that you are amazing. So without further ado, we're going to introduce the morning to Matthew. Obviously he's got a couple of minutes before his lesson, so I'm just going to recap on some of the items that he did in his educational session yesterday, or his booster session yesterday. Good morning to you, Matt. If you could kindly take yourself off mute.
There, can you hear me? Streaming school.
Loud and clear. And would you be kind enough to begin the share of your screen, even though we won't start immediately?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much for yesterday. I've been walking around just going connotation, denotation, connotation, denotation. And yeah, it was really something I was really grateful for. Thank you so much for your time.
You're quite welcome.
Obviously, a lot of teachers, a few teachers are watching now, and we launch kind of quote unquote properly tomorrow, where we tell other people. How does it feel as a teacher kind of teaching online for the first time?
It was It was strange. It's something that I've never done specifically before, but it's always good to feel like I'm sharing with a wider community, and that, yeah, the information is no good if it stays locked up in my head. Again, most of my best quotes are from people that I can't remember who they're by, but there's a good one that rings with me, which is the knowledge wants to be free. Yeah. That's its purpose in life. So that's it. That's what I see as, yeah, if I just lock up information in my own head, then it doesn't do anyone any good.
And you're so kindly donating your time, and obviously there's another teacher who saw some of what we were doing yesterday, who we know, who's actually, yeah, I could do that. They're going to donate their time. So again, you're not just an inspiration to the students, helping them pick up what they need to do. It's to the teachers as well, because they're going to be learning new skills, and obviously then being able to do exactly what you said, setting their knowledge free as well. So brilliant. All right. So without further ado, buddy, that brings us to 10 o'clock, and I will hand over to your wonderful screen. Okay. Please let us know when and if you want us to do anything.
It's another sunny day here in Nottingham. In case you didn't see yesterday's stream, my name is Matt Murphy. I'm a media teacher. I've been a media teacher for 5 years now, I think, at least 5 years. I'll start counting, it's been that long. Rather than specifically look at one particular exam board for these streamed lessons, I'm going to make it nice and broad. So whether you're doing the GCSE or the BTEC, the information that we're going to look at today and moving forward is going to be applicable across the board. So yesterday, so I'll just get my slides ready. So yesterday we looked at possibly the most important word for any media student, which is connotation. And we did that by looking at a couple of logos. So I'll just very quickly, in 1 minute, maybe 1 minute and 30 seconds, take you through a very quick recap of connotation. So everything that we see in front of us in the media has some kind of connotation. Connotation is that extra meaning that exists in all kind of media products. So if we take the Nickelodeon symbol as an example, the fact that it's orange is on purpose. It has a connotation. It has an extra meaning. It appeals to that child audience that it's a bright color. That, you know, if you put a bunch of different colored crayons in front of a child, they would probably go for the oranges, the reds, the pinks, not the grays, not the blacks. The fact that it's kind of a splat shape and not necessarily a square or a regular shape. Again, it appeals to that audience. All of these things have been done deliberately. They are not accidents. There's a kind of media mantra that you'll hear me say again and again, and it'll come up in today's stream, in fact, that everything you see in front of you is on purpose. It has been decided. It has been done on purpose, because everything that is put in front of you in the media has some kind of connotation, has some kind of extra meaning. And understanding connotation not only makes you a better reader of media texts, it also makes you a better creator of them, because effectively you know which buttons to press, if we can think of it that way. If you want to elicit an emotional response from your audience, you can do that by pressing the right buttons. Which brings us to what we're going to look at today, which is something called Mise-En-Scene. Apologies if the pronunciation isn't quite right. I know the word is from French, and mise-en-scène is the best approximation of a French pronunciation I can do. So if it's not quite on point, my apologies to you francophones out there, people who speak French. So what is mise-en-scène? We're going to look at that in today's lesson. We're also going to widen it out a little bit and go, well, how does that link with connotation? The stuff that we looked at yesterday, how does mise-en-scène that we're going to look at today, how does it link to connotation? So mise-en-scène is not one particular thing. It is a collection of 5 things, okay? But if we go back to the meaning of the word, if we look at it from a denotation point of view, again, if you were in yesterday's stream, denotation is simply the literal meaning of the thing, or in this case, the word. The French term means what is put into the scene. And again, I think the choice of words there is deliberate, that put into, meaning that it kind of emphasizes the false nature of the scene, that everything has been put into that scene for your benefit, for the audience's benefit. It's the visual information that's in front of the camera. It communicates essential information to the audience, and most importantly of all, mise-en-scène, through connotation, generates meaning in our imaginations, in the imaginations of the audience. So I put a little graphic there at the bottom to show you the artificiality, if you like, of Mise-En-Scene. Hopefully you recognize that still is from one of the Harry Potter films. But what I think it does there is it shows you just how much we don't see. When we see the finished product, we're not seeing all the fake stuff that goes into it, from the costumes to the lighting to all sorts of other things. So never forget that what we're seeing is something that that's been constructed. And every single point along the way, everything has been done on purpose to be put in front of you through Mise-En-Scene. So think of Mise-En-Scene like a recipe. It is 5 elements all mixed together in the right proportions, and what is generated is meaning in our imaginations, in the imaginations of the audience. So the ingredients of Mise-En-Scene are settings and props, costume, hair and makeup, facial expressions and body language, lighting and color, and the positioning of the characters or objects within the frame. So they can all work independently to produce connotation, to produce meaning, or they can all work together. We shall see different examples of when they work together in this stream, and where they work alone. The only way to remember these 5 things is to practice using them in context. Over the course of years of teaching, I've come up with a magic formula for learning new vocabulary, and that magic formula is to practice it in lots of different ways. You might be sitting there thinking, Matt, that doesn't sound very magical. It's not magical, but it 100% works. You're going to get used to these words and phrases by using them in different ways and repeating them, and then they're going to go into long-term memory eventually. So let's break them down one at a time. Let's start with the settings and props. So settings are sometimes referred to as locations. They play an important part in moving image, and they're not just the backgrounds that people choose. Most locations are chosen very specifically. They're either built from scratch, or somebody's job is to actually find just the right location or setting for the particular product. So whether it's an abandoned castle for Game of Thrones, or it's a war, something for a World War II historical film, just the right location for the product. The props, sometimes, which is a shortening of the word properties, are anything that an actor has about them during the making of a product. So that could be the costume that that could be the things that they hold, the objects that they interact with, things like that. Settings and props manipulate an audience by building certain expectations in the mind, and I do use that word manipulate on purpose. You effectively, when you're making a media product, or you are manipulating the thoughts and feelings and emotions of your audience. And when we ourselves watch or interact with media products, we're having our thoughts and feelings manipulated. Now, again, that word sometimes has a negative connotation, if you like, but there are times when we watch or interact with media products specifically because they manipulate our feelings. We watch a certain film because it gets an emotional response from us. It's a similar idea to when we choose to go on a roller coaster. If the roller coaster didn't mess with our feelings, we probably wouldn't go on it. We probably wouldn't enjoy going on the roller coaster. So, Leon, are you still there in the stream? Because I've got a few questions for you.
Yeah, of course, buddy.
So let's say, for instance, that we're working on a science fiction film together. What setting would you think would be a great choice for a science fiction film?
Well, I've just been watching The Mandalorian, so I am currently, that Disney Plus subscription is paying off already. So if only I had an affiliate link to Disney Plus there, man. But definitely, that cold, barren, distant planet, a sandy, distant planet somewhere that's really mountainous. How's that?
It would set up certain expectations. As soon as we saw that, it would set up certain expectations in the mind of the audience that we are no longer at home, comfortable on planet Earth. We're suddenly far off in a distant world. Now, if I take your idea of setting the setting of a distant planet and change it to a romantic comedy, would that still work?
There'd be quite a few jumps I'd have to make. Yeah, no one wants to see the romantic comedy between a Jawa and an Ewok. So yeah,
and that brings up a really important point. The reason why mise-en-scene is so important, the reason why it's lesson number 2, the reason why it's the second most important thing for a media student to grasp is if you get it wrong, the entire structure of your product can collapse, can unravel. It's effectively like building a Jenga tower. If you get the wrong part of mise-en-scene, it will all collapse very quickly. So what sort of setting would work better than a barren planet for, say, a romantic comedy, Leon?
Let's put us in a New York apartment.
Fantastic. So again, straight away, we're setting up the expectation in the minds of our audience by using the setting. What about a horror film?
You'd want to be in a cave, somewhere in a cave, or a labyrinth of caves.
So straight away, with just by changing the setting and the setting or the locations 3 different times, it immediately helps us to build the world of our media product. Whether that is in a game, in a film, in a TV show, in any kind of media experience. So here's another a different example, which it plays nicely to the example that you were just giving us. Don't forget, in this digital age, a lot of the time, the settings that we see in the finished product are not even real. You can see from that green background, all of that setting is entirely manufactured, which helps us to remember that everything that's been put into the frame, that mise-en-scene, everything that's been put into that frame on purpose. It's all been very carefully designed. At no point has somebody accidentally set off some smoke as that character walks out of the spaceship. That's all been very deliberately decided. So let's go to costume, hair, and makeup. I'm sure most of us know those words, but if we look at them specifically for in a media context, they instantly act as an indicator of what that person is like, what that character's personality is like. So, for instance, as soon as we put someone in a police officer's uniform, it tells us something about their status and their job. We don't need to spend a lot of time explaining that character. The audience will instantly understand it. It tells where the film is set. Again, going back to Leon's example of the science fiction film set on a different planet, straight away, as soon as we see someone wearing a spacesuit, it's going to set up exactly where we are, when or where we are. And certain costumes can add an instant connotation. So I just used the police officer example, or a black cloak on a vampire, or Spider-Man's Spidey suit. Straight away, they are instant shortcuts to meaning and connotation. This is a great example of where makeup has been used for a specific connotation and reason. If we look at, you may recognize the actor in the top left-hand corner of this slide. It's Matt somebody, I can't remember his surname, but he used to play Doctor Who. And the character going through the process of having makeup applied to him to make him look as if he's much, much older. So again, as far as the story was concerned for this particular media product, they obviously had to make this actor look much, much older than he was. So therefore they used makeup to achieve that. So again, it has an instant connotation. We recognize the actor, but we can immediately see that a passage of time has occurred. Straight away, it's an instant shortcut to meaning. So facial expressions and body language, again, we've probably all heard very different statistics about how much information we gather from spoken language compared to body language. I've seen it expressed in 3 or 4 different statistics, so I'm not going to tell you the wrong one, but apparently we get much more information from body language and facial expressions than we do from spoken language when we're interacting with other people. So it provides an indicator of how someone is feeling, obviously. Body language may indicate how a character feels towards another one. It may reflect their relationship. So, Leon, are you still there?
Oh, yes.
Of course you are. It's a redundant question, I know. Anything in the body language that you can see there that's giving you some details about the inner thoughts of these 2 characters?
The folded arms and the clenched hands and the glance from the gentleman to his left.
Yeah. So are they getting on right now? Do they like each other right now?
Looks like someone owes someone an apology.
What about the big empty space in between them?
Yeah, very, very clear. There'll be no intimacy this evening.
So again, rather than the maker of this product having to spend 5 minutes explaining that, for everybody in the audience, it's immediately apparent. This mise-en-scene stuff is like an instant shortcut. Again, other producers of work sometimes use the phrase of show it, don't tell it. Don't spend 5 minutes of long dialogue explaining what characters are thinking. Just show it on the screen because the audience will instantly understand it. What if we circle back though, Leon, to looking at the location, the setting? Is there anything that we can glean from that?
Yeah, this is obviously a creative space. Obviously, we've got some coffee cups where someone's been working hard at something creative. We've got some art being done in the background, some plants, etc. Oh, and also someone's been sleeping in the. Someone's been sleeping.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's all these. All of these things, and really, Leon. Again, a slightly redundant question. But do you think that any of these things are an accident, or they've all been deliberately placed there for your eye to hit on them, and then for that imaginative thought to then jump into your brain?
No, 100% extremely purposeful. That's why people win Oscars for this, right, Matt? Costume design,
absolutely, absolutely. Because every single one of these things has been done deliberately in order to get information into our imaginations. And if it's not done correctly, then we end up with the wrong connotation in our brains. We may mistakenly think that these two characters are getting on, and that may then undo what the actual story is trying to achieve. So we briefly touched on there about the positions of the characters, the fact that there was a distance apart from them, because the fourth part of mise-en-scène is that objects within the frame. The positioning within the frame draws your attention to an important object. As soon as you put something nearer to the camera, it becomes more important for the audience. Putting a prop in a prominent place on the screen will immediately make the audience think that that object or character is important. The creator can use positioning to indicate a relationship between people, as we just saw in that example. Here's a really good example of where a character is made to put, it has been put off the middle of the screen. They're off to one side, and they're very small compared to the actual the scene in which it's taking place. So everything is working together there to tell you that this character is not important. If they were important, they'd be A, bigger on the screen, and B, they'd probably be in the middle. If you imagine a horizontal line in the middle of the screen and a vertical line going through the middle of the screen, we normally put the most important object right there where those two lines meet, the kind of origin, if you like, of those two lines. So last of all, lighting and color. Again, if we circle back to this, the choice of the color blue is interesting because there's a definite kind of connotation associated with the word blue. We even use it in everyday speech to connote that we're not necessarily feeling happy. But again, other ways that lighting can be used, it can be used for a variety of different reasons to highlight important objects within a frame. We can specifically light something so it can be seen, or to make characters look mysterious by shading areas of their face, or it can reflect the character's mental states. So the choice of the color blue may be important in how this character is feeling. So if I just skip forward a second, again, there's a very definite kind of connotation being used in this poster for a spy film. The character's face is half in shadow and half in light, almost as if to tell the audience that this character maybe has two sides to his personality, one that he's trying to hide and one that's out in the open. Again, none of this needs to be told in a long-winded way. It instantly jumps off the page, or the screen in this case, into our imaginations through the medium of mise-en-scène and connotation. So if I can just add a few more details about lighting, because there's some specific vocabulary I'd like you to use when you're describing lighting. Rather than talking about bright lighting or dark lighting, there's specific vocabulary that would be better to use. So we talk about low-key lighting, where the lighting is not bright. The reason being that light that you see in the blue box there, that is called a key light. So when we are lighting a scene, we're using things called key lights, which are those big lights with the barn door shutters on the front. So low key lighting is things that you see in horror films or crime films, or in shots like this, where it produces dark contrast between dark and light areas. So again, it can produce very specific connotations. High key lighting can make it look like you're outdoors. So again, an example might be that you see it in romantic comedies or anything where you're trying to make it look natural and bright and light. So I've very quickly, in the last 18 or so minutes, gone through what those 5 areas are of mise-en-scène. And to help you today, there are 2 extra things that I'd like you to try. There is the very quick mise-en-scène quiz, which you'll see, which is just a couple of multiple choice questions. Come on, computer, you can do it. There are some multiple choice questions, which you'll see on the link, which will just make sure that you've got what the most important parts of mise-en-scène are. And there are also 2 optional tasks where you can try to take a media product that you're aware of, and use these 5 areas of mise-en-scene to break down the meaning and the connotation that's in it. So you might take one of the links that I provided, or something that you're familiar with yourself, and use these 5 areas of mise-en-scene to break down how they are creating meaning in that product. Because as I said earlier, the only way to get these 5 phrases into your long-term memory is to practice them in lots and lots of different content.
So Matt, can I just ask?
That's my 20 minutes up. I hope that's been useful to you. Please make sure that you practice these words, because the magic won't work unless you practice it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Matt. And Matt, can I just ask on those points there where you've got the 5 items? Are they some of the key phrases that students are really going to need to refer to in exams?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. The reason that I'm spending 20 minutes just devoted to those 5 phrases, that by understanding what connotation is and those 5 phrases, it gives you an instant read on any product, whether you've watched it before or it's completely brand new to you. It gives you the 5 things to look out for. How am I being manipulated right now? Oh, they're using lighting to do this. Oh, they're using the camera angle to do this. So even if you've never seen the product before in your life, you can instantly get an idea of the creative decisions that have been done and why they've been done. What's the creator's end goal? Their end goal is in this horror movie. They want me to feel scared. So they've used lighting to do it. They've used this to do it. They've used that to do it. They've used the other.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Matt. Really, really appreciate it. I'm actually going to miss your lessons until we start again next week on the Monday and Tuesday. And yeah, I'm sure I say it for all of us at the Streaming School. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you early next week.
I trust everyone has a great day. I'll see you all very soon.
All the best, buddy. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for watching. Just on some of the feedback we had yesterday, what we're going to do now, instead of doing the whole 2-hour stream, we're going to switch this off. So it goes to Facebook and it goes to YouTube, just so it stops. So Nish and I are going to cut the stream, and then we're going to come straight back on with Matt's task. So Matt's task is going to be displayed. So Nish, I'm going to ask you not to go anywhere. I'm simply going to head off to the wonderful world of the other tabs. I'm going to kill our Vimeo feed, which is going to kill us everywhere, and I'm going to come straight back on. So don't go anywhere.